Omar al-Rashid set up the chess pieces and spoke in Arabic, his voice filled with arrogance. Anna Morrison's stomach dropped. She couldn't understand anything he said. Her business desperately needed his money, but she was failing his challenge. The wealthy man smiled, clearly enjoying watching her struggle. "Typical American," he muttered in broken English, thinking everyone speaks your language. Anna's cheeks burned with shame. Then a small, confident voice spoke out in flawless Arabic. "I'll play chess with you, sir." Everyone spun around. There stood Emily, the 6-year-old daughter of Michael, the cleaner working in the corner. The room went completely quiet. Anna Morrison was buried in bills. $3 million. That terrifying number followed her everywhere, creeping into her nightmares. Secure Vault, everything she'd built, had just 28 days before shutting down forever. She'd created groundbreaking security software that could protect information like nothing else on the market. But brilliant ideas without money were just expensive dreams. The meeting room felt like a trial where she stood accused, fighting to keep her business alive. 12 workers still trusted her vision. Despite not getting paid on time twice, they worked through the night on pizza and pure hope, refusing to abandon a sinking ship. Her money manager had walked out last month, calling her crazy to keep trying. Perhaps he had a point. But Anna couldn't quit. This technology could protect millions from hackers, save hospitals from digital thieves, shield children's information from predators. It was important. She just needed someone to believe that too. Her research on Omar al-Rashid had been extreme. She'd read everything about him, studied every deal he'd made, examined his business, thinking he was worth $47 billion, earned from Saudi oil money that he'd smartly shifted into technology companies. But Omar didn't simply hand out cash. He tested potential partners with strange challenges. One business owner had to solve a puzzle cube while presenting. Another had to make a perfect egg dish. The challenges seemed random, but Omar claimed they showed true character when people felt pressure. Anna had rehearsed everything: money forecasts, technology displays, market study. She'd even memorized basic Arabic greetings, hoping it might honor his background. But when he'd rattled off rapid Arabic, pointing at the chessboard, her brain froze. The phrases she'd practiced vanished. She watched her business die in his amused expression. Michael Chen lived quietly on purpose. His name used to appear in Chess Weekly, International Gaming Magazine, even the New York Times. The Chen strategy, they'd named his special technique. At 15, he'd defeated 3 champions in one competition. Companies wanted to sponsor him. Harvard promised a free education. Then Sarah got cancer. The disease didn't care about chess rankings. He deliberately lost a championship match for $50,000 under the table. Enough for experimental medicine. It gave them 3 more years together. 3 years watching her grow weaker while Emily grew bigger. Sarah passed away when Emily was 2. His chess career died with her. The scandal of the fixed match ruined his name. Sponsors disappeared. The chess community showed no mercy for cheaters, regardless of their reason. Now he mopped floors, took out garbage, refilled paper towels. Secure Vault paid $15 per hour plus benefits, enough for a tiny apartment. Emily's school supplies, food that wasn't instant noodles. He worked at night so he could walk Emily to school, assist with assignments, teach her chess on their yard sale board. Nobody at Secure Vault knew his history. He was just Mike, the dependable janitor who always showed up. He'd observed Anna Morrison pour everything into this business. She reminded him of his younger self, smart, driven, clueless about how brutal the business world could be. He'd seen her sleeping at her workspace, surviving on energy drinks and pure. Part of him wanted to warn her that talent wasn't sufficient, that the system was rigged against people like them. But hope, even false hope, sometimes kept people moving forward. Emily Chen grasped things other 6-year-olds missed. She knew Daddy felt sad even when he laughed. She knew they were unlike families with shiny cars and vacation pictures. She knew the chess pieces had names Daddy whispered like memories. Sarah's sacrifice, Emily's defense, the final move that never happened. But she also knew Daddy loved her more than chess, more than the awards he'd buried in the closet, more than the life he'd given up. Languages came naturally to her like breathing. Mrs. Fatima next door taught her Arabic while Daddy worked. The Lebanese store owner practiced with her. Chinese grandmothers in the park fixed her Mandarin accent. Spanish from television, French from library books. Patterns and sounds gathered in her mind like precious jewels. School was simple, almost dull. Teachers called her talented, said she needed special programs. Daddy would smile with sadness and say, "Perhaps next year." Emily didn't complain. She understood money, even though adults assumed she didn't. She noticed how Daddy counted coins at grocery stores, how he repaired her shoes with glue rather than buying new ones. So she learned everything possible for free. Languages from neighbors, chess from Daddy, math from library books. When Daddy brought her to the office that day because school was closed for meetings, Emily promised to stay silent in the break room, but voices pulled her toward the conference room, especially the Arabic, Egyptian accent. Cairo, exactly. She recognized the pattern. Miss Anna's voice came through too, tight with fear. Emily couldn't stop herself. Languages were meant to connect people. Daddy always said maybe she could build that connection. Omar al-Rashid had constructed his fortune on understanding people. Tiny facial movements, voice changes, body signals, all information about human nature. The chess challenge wasn't really about the game, but about handling unexpected problems. Anna Morrison had failed completely, not because she couldn't speak Arabic or play chess, but because she'd frozen instead of adjusting. He was ready to reject her. Just another dreamer without the toughness to survive. When the child's voice interrupted his judgment, perfect Arabic, not classroom Arabic, but street Arabic with Cairo flavor he hadn't heard since his youth. A janitor's daughter fearlessly offering to play chess with a billionaire. The shock was so extreme, so surprising that it shattered his assumptions. "You speak wonderfully, little one," Omar said in Arabic, genuinely interested. "Who was your teacher?" Emily climbed into the chair facing him, her feet swinging. "Everyone teaches me," she replied in Arabic. "Miss Fatima says languages are like doors. The more doors you unlock, the more spaces you can explore." She switched to English, glancing at Anna. "Don't worry, Miss Anna. He's testing you, but not the way you imagine." The insight was disturbingly accurate. Omar examined the child more closely. Intelligence burned in those dark eyes, the type that saw through fakeness. "And what do you understand about challenges?" he asked. "Daddy says life is full of challenges," Emily replied, organizing chess pieces. "But the real challenge isn't winning. It's playing with dignity when you're losing." Michael wanted to vanish into the floor. Emily had exposed their secret, revealed their presence to powerful people. In his experience, getting noticed by the wealthy only brought trouble, but Emily was already arranging the board with practiced skill, chatting in Arabic about chess wisdom. "Daddy was well known once," she told Omar matter-of-factly, "but he says being well known isn't as valuable as being kind. That's why he teaches me to play correctly, not just to win." Omar's eyes sharpened, studying Michael with fresh interest. "You play?" Michael's throat felt dry. "A bit." Emily laughed, the sound bright and clear. "Daddy's being humble. He has awards hidden in our closet. Many of them." Anna watched this bizarre scene develop, her carefully rehearsed presentation forgotten. A billionaire and a 6-year-old preparing chess while discussing wisdom. A janitor who might be a former expert. Her last opportunity meeting had gone completely sideways, but something about it felt more genuine than any business presentation she'd ever delivered. "Mr. Al-Rashid," she ventured, finding confidence, "I can describe my company's strengths while you play." Omar waved his hand dismissively. "Strengths are just words, Miss Morrison. Let's discover what truths appear from this game." He pushed his pawn forward. Emily responded immediately with her knight, an aggressive start that made him raise his eyebrows. "Interest, your father taught you the ray opening. Daddy says traditional openings are boring." Emily replied, "Better to create your own strategy than copy someone else's." The match continued with surprising energy. Emily played with a blend of classic skill and creative thinking that kept Omar interested. Meanwhile, Anna found herself describing Secure Vault's software without her prepared notes. speaking from genuine passion rather than memorized talking points. She mentioned the nurse who'd thanked her for protecting patient information, the small shop owner who'd avoided a digital attack disaster, the dream of making security available to everyone, not just wealthy companies. Michael stood frozen by his cleaning cart, watching his daughter play chess with a billionaire, while his hidden history unraveled with each move. Emily's approach was unmistakably shaped by his teaching, the Chen strategy variations, the mental pressure, the skill to predict 7 moves forward. Anyone who understood chess would recognize it. Your father, Omar said to Emily while thinking about his next move, must be quite skilled to teach you such advanced strategies. Emily beamed proudly. Daddy's the greatest teacher in the entire world. He says chess is like life. Every piece has worth, even pawns. And sometimes giving up something valuable is the only way to protect what truly matters. The statement hung heavily in the air. Michael's hands squeezed the mop handle until his knuckles turned white. That belief had destroyed him once. Miss Morrison, Omar said, keeping his eyes on the board. Tell me about your workers. Anna sensed this mattered. 12 people who trust in this software enough to work without steady payment. They could earn 3 times more at Google or Microsoft. But they stay because they believe we're creating something meaningful. And your janitor, Omar asked casually, is he part of this trusting group? Anna glanced at Michael, truly noticing him for the first time. Not just the quiet man who emptied garbage, but someone who'd raised this remarkable child, who clearly possessed depths she'd never suspected. Everyone at Secure Vault matters, she said carefully. We're only as capable as our whole team. Daddy fixed Miss Anna's computer last week. Emily interrupted happily. She was crying because the programming wouldn't work, and Daddy looked at it and showed her where the repeating error was broken. Anna's jaw dropped. That problem had frustrated her for days. She'd thought one of her programmers had solved it. You understand programming? She asked Michael. He shrugged uncomfortably. Patterns are patterns whether they're chess moves or computer code. Omar captured Emily's bishop, but she didn't hesitate. Instead, she moved her rook into position with confidence beyond her age. Check, she announced calmly. Omar studied the board, realizing he'd walked into a trap. The 6-year-old had given up her bishop to create an advantage, just as her father had apparently given up his career for something more valuable. You've raised an incredible daughter, he told Michael in a tone suggesting he understood more than he revealed. She's my everything, Michael replied simply. No explanation, no defense, just honesty. Omar moved his king out of danger, but Emily was already 3 moves ahead. Her queen swept across the board in a move that would have impressed champion. Checkmate in 4 moves, she announced, then added gently, unless you want to give up your queen. But Daddy says that's only worthwhile if you're protecting something more valuable. The room fell silent. A 6-year-old had just beaten a billionaire at chess, while delivering wisdom that struck at the heart of every sacrifice in the room. Anna's sacrifice for her business, Michael's sacrifice for his daughter, even Omar's sacrifices, whatever they might be. I surrender, Omar said formally, tipping his king. He looked at Anna with changed eyes. Your company possesses something rare, Miss Morrison. Not just software, but people willing to sacrifice for something greater than money. He pulled out his phone. I'll invest $15 million for 20% ownership, and I want Mr. Chen officially on your leadership team. Michael started to object, but Omar raised his hand. A man who understands patterns, who can repair programming and teach chess at expert level, who chose love over fame. That's exactly the type of guide a company needs. Anna's relief was so powerful she thought she might collapse. But then the implications struck her. Michael, you were a champion. Emily answered for him. Daddy was in the papers, but then Mommy got sick and he stopped playing famous chess to care for us. He says love is more valuable than games. The truth hung in the air like a confession. Michael Chen, janitor, was also Michael Chen, former chess genius who'd thrown a championship and vanished from professional chess. The scandal had been massive, a rising star caught accepting money to lose. Nobody had known about the dying wife, the hospital bills, the desperate father trying to buy more time with the woman he loved. The Chen strategy, Omar said quietly. I remember now, you beat Kasparov in a special match. Then you disappeared after that scandal. Michael's face was emotionless. That was a different life. A life you sacrificed for love, Omar observed. No wonder your daughter understands sacrifice so deeply. He stood, extending his hand to Emily for a formal shake. Young lady, you've taught me more about business in 20 minutes than most business students learn in 2 years. Emily shook his hand seriously. Will you visit again? Daddy doesn't have anyone to play real chess with. I'm decent, but he pretends to lose sometimes to make me feel good. The innocent admission made Michael close his eyes in embarrassment. Emily, Mr. Al-Rashid has many responsibilities. I'll visit every week. Omar interrupted. On one condition. Your daughter continues her language learning and you return to professional chess. The competition needs players who understand what truly matters. Weeks passed in a whirlwind of paperwork, development and expansion. Omar's money saved Secure Vault, but more importantly, it brought Michael out of hiding. Anna insisted he join the leadership team, not as janitor, but as strategic guide. His skill at seeing patterns, whether in programming or business plans, proved priceless. Emily became Secure Vault's unofficial charm. She practiced languages with international visitors who stopped by, won over investors with her chess games, and wisdom beyond her age. The break room transformed into her after-school learning space, where programmers taught her coding while she taught them Arabic words. Anna found herself attracted to this unusual family. She stayed late not just for work, but for the dinners Michael started preparing in the office kitchen. Simple meals that felt like home. Emily would chat about school while Michael and Anna discussed strategy, both business and chess. The lines between professional and personal started to fade. You like her, Emily announced one evening, while Anna was teaching her basic security concepts. Miss Anna, you brighten up when she's around, Emily said plainly, and she looks at you like you're not invisible. That's significant. You've been invisible too long, Daddy. Michael's face reddened. Emily, that's not appropriate. Why not? Emily challenged. You taught me to notice patterns. The pattern is clear. You both work late to be near each other. You smile more. She smiles more. Even Mr. Omar noticed. He said you two circle each other like chess pieces, scared to cross the board. Anna overheard from the doorway, her heart pounding. She tried to dismiss her growing feelings for Michael, convincing herself it was just respect for his intelligence, admiration for his sacrifice. But Emily was correct. Patterns didn't lie. Maybe, Anna said, stepping into the room. Some chess pieces need encouragement to make their move. She looked directly at Michael. Would you like to have dinner? Just the two of us. Without discussing programming or chess or anything work-related. Michael's surprise shifted to something gentler, warmer. I haven't dated since Sarah, he admitted. I might be awful at it. Daddy, you're awful at lying, not dating. Emily corrected. Say yes. Miss Anna makes you happy. Their first date was deliberately simple. Coffee at a small cafe where nobody talked about money or computers. Michael told her about teaching Emily to play chess with pieces made from bottle caps, when they couldn't afford a proper set. Anna shared her worry that success would transform her into the cold executive she'd always hated. They discovered shared interests in unusual science fiction books and terrible kung fu movies. I should tell you, Michael said, as they walked back. The scandal was genuine. I did accept money to lose that match. Emily doesn't know the complete truth. Anna stopped walking. Tell me. So he did. Every painful detail. Sarah's diagnosis. The experimental medicine not covered by insurance. The desperate choice to accept $50,000 to lose a match he could have won easily. The Chess Federation's investigation. The lifetime ban. The sponsors who abandoned him immediately. You traded your dreams for love, Anna said softly. I'd do it again, Michael replied without hesitation. But people don't forgive that type of betrayal in professional sports. Anna took his hand. The people who mattered. Their relationship grew slowly, carefully, with Emily as an enthusiastic supporter. She appointed herself as their translator, not of languages, but of feelings neither was skilled at expressing. Daddy thinks you're amazing, she'd tell Anna. Miss Anna says you're the smartest person she knows, she'd inform Michael. You're both being ridiculous. Just kiss already. Everything shifted the morning Reuters published the piece. Chess scandal revisited. Disgraced champion now advising tech start. Someone had leaked Michael's involvement with Secure Vault, spinning it as Anna hiring a known cheater, someone who'd accepted bribes. The piece questioned her judgment, suggested she was desperate enough to associate with anyone who might assist. By noon, 3 potential customers had canceled appointments. Omar called within an hour. "Someone's trying to sabotage you," he said bluntly. "This isn't random. The timing, the angle, it's calculated. Who benefits if Secure Vault collapses?" Anna knew immediately. David Martinez, her former partner, who'd left to start a competing business. He'd tried to steal her programmers, take her customers. Now he was trying to destroy her name. The office felt like a wake. Programmers read the piece in silence, uncertain how to respond. Emily arrived after school to find her father packing his workspace. "If I leave now, the damage might be limited," Michael told Anna. "This is my history, not yours." Emily's face crumpled. "Daddy, you can't run away again. You taught me that pawns who reach the other side become queens. But they have to keep pushing forward, not backward." Anna slammed her laptop shut. "Nobody's leaving. We're going to fight this together." She looked at her worker. "Anyone who wants to leave because our strategic guide made a desperate choice to save his dying wife. There's the door." Nobody moved. One programmer, young and sincere, raised his hand. "My mom sold our house to pay for my brother's cancer treatment." Desperation makes people do things they never imagined. If Michael hadn't thrown that match, Emily wouldn't exist. That seems like the correct choice to me. Omar arrived that evening with a Wall Street Journal reporter. "We're going to tell the genuine story," he announced. "Not the scandal, but the sacrifice. The chess genius who chose love over fame. The CEO brave enough to look past reputation to recognize brilliance. The 6-year-old who speaks 7 languages because her father invested everything in her learning, instead of his comeback." Michael resisted. "This isn't your battle. It became my battle when someone tried to destroy my investment," Omar replied. "Besides, Emily asked me to help in Arabic, Mandarin and English, just to ensure I understood." The interview was harsh. The reporter Catherine Walsh didn't hold back. She questioned Michael about the match fixing, Anna about her judgment, even questioned whether Emily was being used for sympathy. Then Emily spoke up. "My daddy didn't cheat. He made a trade. Won championship for 3 more years with mommy. That's not cheating. That's love. And Miss Anna didn't hire him because she felt sorry for us. She hired him because he's brilliant. He sees patterns nobody else notices. That's why Secure Vault's system works better now. That's why Mr. Omar keeps returning to play chess with him. That's why everyone who actually knows Daddy respects him." Catherine Walsh studied the 6-year-old who'd just delivered a defense that would make attorneys jealous. "You understand why some people think what your father did was wrong." Emily nodded. "But they think the game matters more than the people playing it. Daddy taught me the opposite. The people always matter more." The piece Catherine Walsh published changed everything. The Grandmaster's Gambit, a chess genius's ultimate sacrifice, went viral within hours. She investigated deeply, finding nurses who remembered Michael sleeping in hospital chairs, chess players who'd wondered why such talent vanished overnight, even the doctor who'd confirmed the experimental treatment had given Sarah 3 more precious years. Public opinion shift. Love over glory trended. Chess organizations worldwide debated whether lifetime bans should have exceptions for exceptional circumstances. Secure Vault received more publicity than any startup could afford. All positive. But in the office, a quieter drama unfolded. Anna discovered David Martinez had planted someone inside her business, feeding him secrets. The spy was Marcus, one of her original programmers, someone she'd trusted completely. The betrayal cut deep. Marcus had been offered chief technology officer at David's company. Double the salary, stock options. He'd been recording their programming, preparing to copy it. "I have a family too," Marcus said when confronted. "I need stability, not just dreams and promise." Anna wanted to scream, to rage at the unfairness. But Michael spoke first. "I understand desperation," he said quietly. "But there's a difference between sacrifice and betrayal. I sacrificed my name for someone I loved. You're betraying people who trusted you for money. That's not the same thing." Marcus left that day, taking nothing but his personal belongings. The workers labored around the clock to change every access code, every password, every security measure he might have compromised. Emily brought them coffee and snacks, practicing her French with the stressed programmer. Courage isn't the absence of fear, she told them in perfectly accented French. It's moving forward despite the fear. The crisis actually strengthened the workers. Those who remained were absolutely dedicated, understanding they were fighting not just for a business, but for a principle that loyalty mattered, that sacrifice for the right reasons was noble, that sometimes the underdog wins, not through strength but through refusing to give up. Omar increased his investment. Integrity under pressure is rare, he told Anna. Your workers have proven they possess it. He also had his attorneys send David Martinez a legal warning that made it clear any attempt to steal Secure Vault software would result in legal action that would destroy him. David backed down. His company eventually collapsed when investors learned about his tactic. But the real victory came when the International Chess Federation contacted Michael. They were reviewing his lifetime ban in light of new details about Sarah's illness. Several champions, including some he'd defeated, had requested his reinstatement. I don't need it anymore, Michael told Anna that evening. That life, that need to prove myself through chess, it died with Sarah. I have different priorities now. But Emily would love to see you compete, Anna pointed out. She's so proud of you. Michael smiled. She's proud of me as her father, not as a chess champion. That matters more. Still, when the Federation officially removed his ban and invited him to a ceremonial match, he accepted. Not for fame or redemption, but because Emily deserved to see her father recognized for who he truly was. The match was against a current world champion, a special event for charity. Emily and Anna sat in the front row, Emily providing whispered commentary in 3 languages for the confused spectators around them. Michael played brilliantly, not to win but to create beauty on the board. Each move was poetry, strategy elevated to art. When he achieved a draw against the champion, the crowd erupted. Emily rushed onto the stage, hugging her father as cameras flashed. I'm proud of you, Daddy, she said loud enough for everyone to hear. Not because you're skilled at chess, but because you're skilled at love. The quote became famous, printed on chessboards and motivational posters. But for Michael, it was just his daughter understanding what truly mattered. Secure Vault went public. 18 months later, Anna rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, with Michael and Emily beside her. The company was valued at $200 million. Every worker who'd stayed through the crisis became a millionaire on paper. But the real celebration happened that evening in their office, the same room where Emily had first challenged Omar to chess. The workers gathered for champagne and juice boxes, toasting not their financial success, but their survival as a family. None of this would have happened without Emily, Anna said, raising her glass. A 6-year-old who reminded us that bridges are built with understanding, not just words.
Emily, now 8 and even more clever, stood on a chair to respond. None of this would have happened if adults remembered what children know, that being kind is more important than being correct, that helping is more important than winning, and that families aren't just about blood. They're about choosing to stand together when everything falls apart. Omar, who'd flown in for the celebration, wiped his eyes. In 40 years of business, I've never seen anything like this. A company built on sacrifice, tested by betrayal, and strengthened by love. You've redefined what success looks like. He looked at Emily. Young lady, when you're old enough, I have a standing offer. Come work for me. Anyone who can see truth so clearly is someone I want on my side. Emily grinned. Only if Daddy and Anna can come too. We're a package deal now. The room laughed, but the truth of it resonated. They were a package deal. The CEO who'd risked everything on a dream, the champion who'd chosen love over fame, and the child who'd built bridges between worlds. Later that night, after everyone had gone home, Anna found Michael in the conference room, where it all began. He was teaching Emily a new chess opening on the same board where she'd defeated Omar. Marry me, Anna said suddenly, the words escaping before she could overthink them. Both Michael and Emily looked up in surprise. I know we've only been dating a year, but I can't imagine Secure Vault without you. I can't imagine my life without either of you. We're already a family in every way that matters.
Let's make it official. Michael stood slowly, crossing to where Anna stood. I haven't been someone's husband since Sarah. I'm not sure I remember how. You remember how to love, Anna said. That's all that matters. Emily bounced between them. Say yes, Daddy. I already call her mom in my head anyway. Michael laughed, pulling both of them into his arms. How could I say no to my two queens? They were married 6 months later in the Secure Vault office, surrounded by their chosen family of programmers, investors, and unlikely friends. Emily served as both flower girl and translator, switching between languages as international guests offered congratulations. Omar gave a toast that made everyone cry, talking about how 3 broken people had become whole by choosing each other. In chess, he said, the endgame is when true mastery shows, when pieces are few and every move matters absolutely. Anna, Michael, and Emily have shown us that in life's endgame, when everything seems lost, love isn't just the best strategy, it's the only one that truly wins. The wedding cake was topped with chess pieces, a king, a queen, and a pawn that Emily had painted to look like a princess. Because pawns can become anything, she explained to guests. Just like people can become more than what they started as. David Martinez attended the wedding. It had been Anna's idea, a gesture of forgiveness that Michael initially opposed. But David came humbled. His own company failed, his reputation destroyed by his own tactics. I was wrong, he told them simply. I thought business was war. You've shown it can be something else, something better. Anna offered him a position at Secure Vault, not as chief technology officer, but as a junior programmer. Everyone deserves a second chance, she said. Michael taught me that, but second chances require genuine change. Are you ready for that? David accepted, working his way up slowly, earning trust through actions, not words. He became one of their most dedicated workers, often staying late to mentor younger programmers, sharing his failure as a cautionary tale. 3 years passed. Secure Vault became the industry standard for security software. They opened offices globally, but the heart remained in that original building, where a janitor had mopped floors and a little girl had translated Arabic. Emily, now 11, spoke 12 languages fluently, and had started competing in chess tournaments, not for fame, but for the joy of the game. She often quoted her father, "Winning is temporary, but how you play echoes forever." Michael returned to professional chess selectively, playing in competitions that benefited charities. His return to the competition was triumphant, not because he won, though he often did, but because he played with joy again. The shadow that had haunted him since Sarah's death finally lifted. Anna became the CEO every business school wanted to study. Her leadership approach, built on trust and second chances, seemed to defy traditional wisdom yet produced remarkable results. She spoke at conferences about the power of unlikely partnerships, always crediting Michael and Emily for teaching her that strength comes from vulnerability, not invulnerability. But the moment that defined their journey came during Emily's 12th birthday. Omar had flown in as he did for every important occasion. The original workers were there. Even Marcus, who'd returned after David's redemption proved second chances could work. They gathered in the conference room where it all began, around the same chessboard that had changed their lives. I want to tell you all something, Emily said, standing with the confidence of someone raised by love and strengthened by challenges. When I was 6, I thought I was helping Daddy and Anna by translating. But now I realize I was really translating something bigger, the language of fear into the language of hope. Daddy was afraid of being seen. Anna was afraid of failing. Mr. Omar was afraid of trusting. But when you translate fear, it becomes courage. When you translate loneliness, it becomes family. When you translate sacrifice, it becomes love. She looked at each person in the room. We all speak different languages: programming, chess, Arabic, business. But the most important language we've learned together is the one that says every person has worth, every sacrifice matters, and every ending can become a beginning. Michael and Anna exchanged glances over their daughter's head, seeing in her the best of both of them: his strategic mind, her determined heart, and something uniquely Emily, the ability to see beauty in broken things and make them whole. Omar stood, raising his glass. To Emily Chen Morrison,
who taught a billionaire that wealth isn't measured in money. To Michael, who showed us that true victory sometimes looks like defeat. To Anna, who proved that leadership isn't about having all the answers but about asking the right question. And to all of us who discovered that the best investments aren't in companies, but in people who refuse to give up on each other. As they toasted, the late afternoon sun streamed through the windows, casting long shadows across the chessboard. The pieces stood ready for another game, another chance, another moment where everything could change with a single move. Emily set up the board, inviting Omar to play. As they began, she said something in Arabic that made him laugh. She says, "I've gotten predictable." Omar translated for the others. "That comfort has made me soft." He moved his pawn forward. "She's probably correct. But isn't that what family does? Makes you soft in the best way." Michael pulled Anna close, watching their daughter challenge the billionaire who'd become like a grandfather to her. "No regrets?" Anna asked quietly. "None," Michael replied. "Every sacrifice led us here." Sarah would have loved this, seeing Emily grow, seeing us together, seeing how one moment of translation created all of this. Anna leaned into him. "Think Emily knows she saved us all that day." "She knows," Michael said. "But in her mind we all saved each other. That's the genius of Emily. She doesn't see heroes and victims. She just sees people who need each other." The game continued as the sun set, casting golden light on a scene that had begun with mockery and desperation, but had transformed into something precious. A billionaire learning humility from a child, a disgraced champion rediscovering joy, a desperate CEO finding that success meant more than money, and at the center a 12-year-old girl who'd built bridges with words, healed wounds with wisdom, and proved that the smallest voice in the room often carries the most important message. "Checkmate," Emily announced gently, her voice carrying the same clear confidence it had 6 years ago. But this time, instead of triumph, there was only warmth. "Want to play again?" Omar smiled, resetting the board. "Always," he said. "That's what family does. We play again. We try again. We begin again as many times as it takes." And so they played as the evening settled around them in the room where it all began. The janitor who became a strategic guide, the CEO who became a mother, the child who became the heart of an unlikely family, and the billionaire who discovered that the best investment he'd ever made wasn't in a company, but in believing that people could surprise you, forgive you, and teach you that love is the only game where everyone can win.